And after the termite inspection, we receive a report, and it's usually broken out into two sections, Section 1 and Section 2.
Correct.
How would you explain the differences between the two sections?
Okay, well, Section 1 items are anything that's active. For example, anything that a termite destroyed or the termite infestation itself, that's considered a Section 1 item. A Section 2 item would be items that could lead to future infestation. For example, cellulose debris, earth to wood contact, those would be considered Section 2 items.
What is cellulose debris?
Cellulose debris would be any old cardboard or any wood debris that was left when they did construction, or wood that was just left when they did some plumbing or any kind of construction work underneath the house.
Okay,
that
great.
would be considered cellulose debris.
Great. So we get the report. The report is then provided to both the seller and the buyer, and usually, standardly, at least in Pasadena, what we see is the seller pays for any work under Section 1 and the buyer would pay for any work under Section 2. Right before we close escrow, we call you out again should there be any work that needs to be done. The work is then performed. And just curious, in your experience, what are you seeing as far as...
Well, I mean, well, we live in California, so termites are very common. On a regular 2-3 house, I mean, you would probably find somewhat between like $600 to about $1,200, pretty much. That's kind of a fair estimate. Yeah. Now, I mean, if you're talking about a fumigation where you would tent the entire property, along with maybe some subterranean spraying, you could say between maybe $1,200 to about $1,700, give or take, depending on the square footage of the property, of course. But on a regular 2-3 bedroom house, fumigation between $800 to about $1,500–$1,600.
And that's when you tent the house, correct?
Correct. That's when you put the
now, how bad does it have to be for you to consider tenting?
Well, to consider a tent, pretty much is when you find inaccessible areas, when you find the infestation to extend to inaccessible areas. That's pretty much when you would recommend a fumigation, or of course when you see a very, very heavy infestation.
Right. Okay, that's great. Well, I know that this question always comes up, and I so appreciate you taking the time and sharing us some of your experiences. It's always great to hear from the person who does the work himself. And we thank you, and in my experience, Del Rio Termite has always been the best, the most professional and ethical termite company around. So I will have Fernando's telephone number right underneath here. You can take a look at that. Call him if you need any termite work, whether you're selling the house or if you just need regular annual inspections. Do you do annual or?
Yeah, we do yearly controls.
Okay, so regular termite control.
Yes.
All right, thanks so much, Fernando, for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.